to the show. Today we are at the beach. And we are joined by Lady Catastrophic. And also by Obsidian Suicide. And we are at the beach in Port Franks. We're here for the hot dog, and we're gonna be playing with an ND filter and doing some beach shoots, and I brought a lot of lights, so let's see what we come up with.
Here's the thing about beach photos. There is a lot of ambient light to work with because we have to compete with the brightest light source of all, the sun. We are quite limited by our settings. Our only options are to either shoot at a super fast shutter speed, like 1/4000, or shoot at a small aperture and lose that depth of field and blurry background. Shooting with a fast shutter speed allows us to blur the background on a really bright day and also freeze water droplets in midair. But we can't always do that. Sometimes we are limited to a slow shutter speed, say for this video. In video, unlike photos, we can't shoot at high shutter speeds because it would look weird, so we are limited to about 1/60th or 1/50th of a second. If we lower our shutter speed that low, even with ISO 100, our footage becomes pure white. But in the footage you saw in the intro, you can notice the blurred out background and the wider aperture. How is that accomplished? You'll find out in a sec. Let's talk about another limitation of shutter speed. What if we wanted to use flash in combination with the sun in broad daylight? Most cameras are limited to a shutter speed of 1/200th of a second. So again, enter the overexposed white screen. So I've teased you long enough. You want to know how, right now. Well, there are two ways to accomplish this. One, get expensive flashes that have high-speed sync. These allow you to shoot at 1/4000s or even 1/8000s and still be able to use flash. They're called high-speed sync because, well, they're able to sync in high speeds. It doesn't really help us when shooting video because, as you recall, in video we are stuck with 1/50th most of the time. So number two, and the thing that we will be talking about, is ND filters. That's right, we covered this before in the video, how to shoot long exposures in daytime. But now, instead of landscapes and trailing cars, we will use them to make our lives easier when shooting portraits on the beach. Not only can we shoot at low enough shutter speeds to be able to use flash, but we can also use them for getting wide aperture, blurry background video footage as well. In the beginning of the shoot, I didn't use the ND filter and just shot at a faster shutter speed. The pics were decent, but nothing special. Once I started to introduce flashes and gels, that's when things got a lot more interesting and more up my alley. Give this video a like right about now. The colored gels on the beach produced an effect that was almost like another planet. This, coupled with the fact that it was getting late, allowed us to even shoot nudes at the beach because everyone was gone at this point. Frequently asked questions. What kind of flash are you using? I prefer using speed lights over strobes because they're easier to travel with and take AA batteries. Also, they're quite inexpensive in comparison, so if one drops in the water, it's not as big of a deal. What if I don't have ND filters? Our last beach shoot was just using a bare flash and we got some great results. Although we did cheat a little. We went on a stormy, cloudy day, which cut out a lot of the ambient light. So, go on a cloudy, overcast day. Indirect light is prettier anyways. But it's really sunny today. Shoot at sunsets. The golden hour is everyone's favorite for a reason. Direct sunlight has been diffused naturally, so A, you can have your model look towards the sun and not be as blinded, and B, it's a softer and warmer light, which means no deep dark shadows. The ND filter only becomes necessary when the sun is still high and powerful. Here's a side-by-side comparison of what it looks like with an ND filter and without an ND filter using the same settings.
I have flashes, but no ND filter.
The other option is just to bring that aperture down so low that everything is in focus. The sun, the model, the water, everything. It's not a bad shot. You'll get everything in focus, and that's artsy by itself.
What kind of ND filter are you using?
I'll dive deeper into this particular filter in another video. The one I used this day was an N64 6-stop filter. It's not as harsh as the 10-stop ND filter covered in the last video. That one is pretty much useless for portraits. Anywho, I hope you learned something today about how to be in control when the sun is just too overpowering.
Let's recap, shall we? Level 1, you only have a camera. Shoot at high shutter speeds. You'll get to open up the aperture and have blurry backgrounds. And a bonus, you'll get to freeze the motion. Sometimes this is the only option though. Level 2, you have a flash. Wait for a cloudy day or a sunset, because that shutter speed limitation won't let you shoot in broad daylight, especially at the beach. Level 3, flash and a flash gel. Wait for a sunset, but match that flash to the sunset color if you can, so it's not so blue. Shoot at f9 or lower because of that sync speed limitation. Don't take this number too seriously. Level 4, the ultimate combo. You have a flash gel, and the ND filter. You can do whatever you want here, whenever you want. It's similar to before, but now you can have a blurry background. Or you can shoot at night if you really wanted to. Seriously, you can make it look like a different planet. Just get creative.
I had fun. There's sand in my butt.
Can you tell me about the sand?
It's everywhere!
Just wrapped up a shoot. What we did was we used 2 flashes. One had a weird orange filter on it, and the other one had a, I don't know, orangey blue filter. And the sky, well, all I have to do is just look at the picture, and then you'll see that it's really weird, but it almost looked like another planet. But we did take a picture of how we did it, so there's that. Yeah, the beach got a little bit too busy, so we couldn't do the nude stuff, but eventually everyone left because it's super dark. I know you can't tell because this is ISO 2000, but it's pretty dark right now. But we still have a sunset. Okay, go.
Watch the other ND filter video for a more in-depth analysis of how they work. Or watch the other beach video to see the kind of results you can get with just a flash. And a funny road trip. We're almost at 1,000 subs. Once we hit it, we're gonna release a very special video with many bums and models. So subscribe if you haven't already, because things are gonna get a lot more naked in here.